After a quarter mile, the rider in front of me, Will, who organized this ride, finally pulls off after quickly accelerating from the gun to the mid-to-high 20s. Hey cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. A little while ago, I had adapted to small, fast group rides with my teammates who are race ready but aren't racing. This is my first time with this group. As you can probably tell from that guy that attacked while I was going 30 miles an hour, that this group is made up mostly of currently racing local area elites. With my 64th birthday happening in less than 2 months, most of these riders are between 40 and 70% of my age. As the Rev Squad rolls past on the left, over 30 miles an hour, I'm sitting on a wheel on a 1% grade going over 400 watts. The main reasons I did this ride, other than the timing worked out in which it allowed me to have 2 days rest before my next road race is coming Saturday, is 1, to see if I like this ride, and 2, if I did, to establish a benchmark that I can build from in these subsequent weekly rides. Just a quick note, the only reason we're slowing down is because of the red light ahead. As it turned out, I like this ride a lot, and so I'm doing the benchmark thing. On a ride like this, especially being an old guy on a ride like this, I had to make sure I was quite warmed up. I went for a 2-hour easy ride with a couple jumps, and that good warm-up allowed me to eliminate one potential excuse. As we pass the intersection, we start to dial up speed again. In order to stay as long as I can with these guys, I have to be vigilant in a couple of areas. 1, I have to be on people's wheels and stay protected. And 2, I have to look for those that are weaker that are in front of me so I can get past them in case there's a surge or an attack that they are not able to answer, that I will have to fill the gap on, which with this group will be pretty much close to impossible. Right now I'm accomplishing the second goal, but I need to get a little closer to accomplish the first. Being an old guy, this is kind of like motor pacing for me, and this is working right on my weaknesses, sustaining fast, flatland speed. Looking at the graphics on the left side, you'll see that I'm pushing over 400 watts just being on somebody's wheel on the flats. My heart rate's starting to climb. It's at about 93% of max, which is 163 beats per minute. I am fortunate to get a bit of respite as we approach our last set of lights. This mostly flat course is 9 miles up and 9 miles back. We started this ride at 6:30 in the evening, so that gives us about 1 hour of daylight. If I get dropped too soon, I'll have to turn around because I discovered that my taillight has a dead battery. Having the speed below 25 mph is a rarity because things like this happen. Attacks. I know how I'm starting to feel and I know what can be coming up, so I'm just being cautious. I'm going to let other people pull me up, and hopefully I can stay on their wheels when they do. I am getting nervous though because there's a lot of fast riders trying to establish a break. 1 minute later, we're starting to go downhill. We're doing 30 miles an hour, and I'm still having to push over 350 watts. My legs don't have the snap that they used to. They can't sustain the power like they used to. But that doesn't mean it's not going to get any better. That's why I'm out here. I am getting worn out though. You'll notice a few people are starting to pass me, and I'm having a little more trouble keeping a closer distance to them. The only thing on my mind now is that I got to get to their wheel before they hit the bottom. Otherwise, that's it. Getting closer, which appears to be what I'm doing, is good, but it's not getting on the wheel. I got to get on the wheel. The problem I'm having is not aerobic, it's metabolites. More specifically, it's the waste material produced in my muscles that I'm not able to filter out quickly enough. And speaking of that wheel in front of me seems so close I can almost touch it, but I can't. I just can't get to it. And then I reach the end of the line. There's a lot of people behind me that have to fill the gap, and they do. After I spin down for a bit, I turn around when it's safe. And on the way back, my legs are starting to feel a lot better. In fact, I do a couple of 1-minute efforts. After I get back to the truck, I start to go over what has transpired, and it starts to play in my mind. I've got to ignore the bad stuff and use it as motivation to improve. Man, that was fast. I did a 2-hour warm-up, and then I met up with the fast group, and I lasted no more than 2 miles with them. And then I just couldn't sustain that speed. So I'm going to see if they're going to do this every week. I'm going to see if they do this every week or not. Hopefully they do. If they are, I'm going to have to rearrange some of the training schedule, but that's no big deal. If I can show constant improvement in this, then it's going to do nothing but good for me. Okay, comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.